Welcome to Legal English in Use and in Use. In the future professional activity, you will definitely work with the documents of the international and European judicial bodies. So today we would like to familiarize you with the work and the documents of one of the most influential European courts, that is, European Court of Human Rights. In Unit 3, we will deal with the terminology used in the part of the judgment called procedure. You will also read the judgments on the case of Arps versus Croatia and the case of Juraev and Shalkova versus Russia to learn the vocabulary the judges use and heed. And at the end of the first episode, you will learn what the European Court of Human Rights is and how it works. So, let's get started. Check your pronunciation of the words and word combinations. Applicant, lodge, national, representative, judgment, allege, authorities, exclude.
Applicant, lodge, national, representative, judgment, allege, authorities, exclude.
Repeat after the teacher. Applicant, lodge, national, representative, judgment, allege, authorities, exclude.
Applicant, lodge, national, representative, judgment, allege, authorities, exclude.
Repeat and remember the translation. Applicant,
Заявник,
lodge,
подавати,
national,
громадянин,
representative,
представник,
judgment,
рішення суду,
allege,
стверджувати, заявляти,
authorities,
влада,
exclude.
заборонити в'їзд. Applicant,
Заявник,
lodge,
подавати,
national,
громадянин,
representative,
представник,
judgment,
рішення суду,
allege,
стверджувати, заявляти,
authorities,
влада,
exclude.
забороняти в'їзд. Give a translation of the words. Applicant, lodge, national, representative, judgment, allege, authorities, exclude.
Applicant, lodge, national, representative, judgment, allege, authorities, exclude.
Give a translation of the words. Заявник, подавати, громадянин, представник, рішення суду, Стверджувати, заявляти. Влада. Забороняти в'їзд.
Заявник. Подавати. Громадянин. Представник. Рішення суду. Стверджувати, заявляти. Влада. Забороняти в'їзд.
You will have 30 seconds to recall and write the list of words you have learned. Applicant, lodge, national, representative, judgment, allege, authorities, exclude. So, how many words have you recalled? Define the words below and write the definitions in your notebook. Applicant, national, representative, judgment, allege, authorities, exclude. Here is a model for you. Lodge, to lay something such as a complaint before a proper authority. Read the case of Juraev and Shalkova versus Russia to give the examples of the words in the sentences. Write the examples in your notebook. Applicant, lodge, national, representative, judgment, allege, authorities, exclude. Fill in the gaps in the sentences using the words from the list and write the answers in your notebook. Alleged, lodged, representative, exclude, authorities, national, applicants. Categorize the highlighted words by the parts of speech. Produce as many parts of speech as possible from the given words. Here's a model for you. The case originated in an application against the Republic of Croatia lodged with the court under Article 34 of the Convention for the Protection of Human Rights and Fundamental Freedoms, the Convention, by a Croatian national, Miss Adriana Arps, the applicant, on March the 28th, 2012. The highlighted word is national, which is a noun. As an adjective, it has such forms as national, international, multinational, nationalist, nationalistic, nationalized, internationalist. As a verb, nationalize, internationalize. As an adverb, nationally, internationally. The case originated in an application against the Russian Federation lodged with the court under Article 34 of the Convention for the Protection of Human Rights and Fundamental Freedoms, the Convention, by a Tajik national, Mr. Tochi Akbarovich Juraev, and the Russian national, Miss Ekaterina Sergeyevna Shalkova, the applicants, on December the 15th, 2014. The Russian government, were represented by Mr. Matyushkin, the representative of the Russian Federation to the European Court of Human Rights. The applicants alleged, in particular, that the authorities' decision to exclude the first applicant from Russia violated their rights under Article 8 and 13 of the Convention. Develop your own sentences with the words from the list and write them in your notebook. Applicant, lodge, national, representative, judgment, allege, authorities, exclude. Have you ever worried how to memorize new vocabulary? According to psychologists who study human memory and how we memorize things, there's a better way to learn the new vocabulary. Use the new word immediately. Use it 10 minutes later, an hour later, 1 day later, and 1 week later. After that, you will rarely have to worry about revision, because the new vocabulary will become yours forever. Check your pronunciation of the words and word combinations. Violate, complaint, declare, inadmissible, pursuant to, fair, trial.
Violate. Complaint. Declare. Inadmissible. Pursuant to. Fair. Trial.
Repeat after the teacher. Violate, complaint, declare, inadmissible, pursuant to, fair, trial.
Violate. Complaint. Declare. Inadmissible. Pursuant to. Fair. Trial.
Repeat and remember the translation. Violate,
Порушувати.
complaint,
Скарга.
declare,
Визнавати, оголошувати.
inadmissible,
Неприйнятний.
pursuant to,
Відповідно до.
fair,
Справедливий.
trial.
Судовий розгляд. Суд. Violate.
Порушувати,
Complaint.
скарга,
Declare.
визнавати, оголошувати,
Inadmissible.
неприйнятний,
Pursuant to.
відповідно до,
Fair.
справедливий,
Trial.
судовий розгляд, суд. Give a translation of the words. Violate, complaint, declare, inadmissible, pursuant to, fair, trial,
violate, complaint, declare, inadmissible, pursuant to, fair, trial.
Give a translation of the words. Порушувати. Скарга. Визнавати, оголошувати. Неприйнятний. Відповідно до. Справедливий. Судовий розгляд. Суд.
Порушувати, скарга, визнавати, оголошувати, неприйнятний, відповідно до, справедливий, судовий розгляд, суд.
You will have 30 seconds to recall and write a list of words you have learned. Violate, complaint, declare, inadmissible, pursuant to, fair, trial. So, how many words have you recalled? Define the words and write the definitions in your notebook. Complaint, declare, inadmissible, pursuant to, fair, trial. Here's a model for you. Violate, to break or act against something, especially a law, agreement, principle, or something that should be treated with respect. Read the case of Juraev and Shalkova versus Russia and the case of Arps versus Croatia to give the examples of the words in the sentences. Write the examples in your notebook. Violate, complaint, declare, inadmissible, pursuant to, fair, trial. Fill in the gaps in the sentences using the words from the list and write the answers in your notebook. Inadmissible, violated, declared, fair trial, complaints, pursuant to. Categorize the highlighted words by the parts of speech. Produce as many parts of speech as possible from the given words. Here's a model for you. The applicants alleged, in particular, that the authorities' decision to exclude the first applicant from Russia violated their rights under Articles 8 and 13 of the Convention. Violated is a highlighted word which is a verb. Noun, violence, violator, violation. Adjective, violent. Adverb, violently. The applicant alleged that she had not had a fair trial in that the session of the appeal panel in the criminal proceedings against her on charges of aggravated fraud had been held in her absence, contrary to Article 6, paragraphs 1 and 3, c of the Convention. On the 7th of October 2015, the complaints concerning Articles 8 and 13 of the Convention were communicated to the government, and the remainder of the application was declared inadmissible pursuant to Rule 54, paragraph 3 of the Rules of the Court. Develop your own sentences with the words from the list and write them in your notebook. Violate, complaint, declare, inadmissible, pursuant to, fair, trial. The European Court of Human Rights is an international court set up in 1959. It rules on individual and state applications alleging violations of the civil and political rights set out in the European Convention on Human Rights. And how does the European Court on Human Rights work? Watch the video and be ready to discuss it.
Il faut intervenir avant qu'il ne soit trop tard. Il faut qu'il y ait une conscience, quelque part, qui sonne l'alerte pour les opinions nationales menacées de cette gangrène progressive. Une conscience, quelque part, qui leur montre le péril. Une juridiction internationale au sein du Conseil de l'Europe. Un système de contrôle et de garantie, ce pourrait être cette conscience dont nous avons tous besoin.
Each year, tens of thousands of people who consider that their fundamental rights have been breached turn to the European Court of Human Rights. What is this court, which for over half a century has allowed individuals to have states held to account and whose decisions may ultimately affect our everyday lives? It was in 1949, in the aftermath of the Second World War, that a number of countries joined forces to set up the Council of Europe in order to promote human rights, democracy, and the rule of law across Europe. They adopted the European Convention on Human Rights, setting up a system that was unique at that time, including a binding supervisory mechanism. That was how the court came into being in 1959, reflecting the member states' desire never again to experience the atrocities committed in the mid-20th century. 12 states signed up initially. Now there are almost 50 of them. The court is based in Strasbourg, in the Human Rights Building. It is composed of one judge for each member state of the Council of Europe. The judges, who are elected by the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, are fully independent and do not represent any national interests. In dealing with cases, the judges are assisted by the registry, which employs qualified staff from all the member states. The court receives hundreds of letters and phone calls every day. When applications arrive at the court, they are sorted and then dispatched to one of the units of the registry which prepare the files for the judges. All the decisions are taken by the judges, sitting as a single-judge formation, a 3-judge committee, a 7-judge chamber, or a grand chamber of 17 judges for the most important cases. The procedure is conducted in writing, but in a very few cases the court also holds public hearings, all of which are filmed and can be viewed via webcast.